Welcome to Custom Creator, everybody. I am OGL Schmidt. I would much rather have my brother Danny Lee OGT by my side to do this, but he has been working very, very hard, especially for a man with 15% lung capacity. He's been up for 24 hours editing a video project, cleaning his house, just working his butt off. So he's getting some deserved rest. He asked me to react to Through the Window by Chris Cornell. This is for Lisa from Endless Grunge Icons, which is a Facebook group that Danny's a part of. So, Lisa, I hope you enjoy this. I'm not the biggest fan of Soundgarden or Audio Slave, but you would have to be deaf to not realize that Chris has an amazing voice. I have enjoyed some of his acoustic stuff. This song comes from a 2015 album called Higher Truth. So let's hear Through the Window by Chris Cornell.
Clouds that gather turn to rain. The candle on your sill burned out. The weather on your face turned to match the mood outside. Reading the poems that you saved that made the gloomy hours make sense. Or do they lose their power with the yellowing of age? I saw you suffering through a foggy window in the rain when you thought no one was watching.
Okay, so very sparse arrangement here. Acoustic guitar sounds beautiful. Chris's voice, again, him and Lane Staley were two that were so good at conveying anguish just through the sound of their voice and the power of their delivery. Uh, there are some similarities in their sounds, like a certain fullness, but Chris has a very throaty sound, whereas Lane was more focused and nasal. Uh, but both guys are top tier vocal talents. There are tributes on the channel to Lane and Chris. I'll try to leave some links for those. They're definitely worth seeing. Want to check out some of these lyrics? The clouds that gathered turned to rain. The candles on your sill burned out. The weather on your face turned to match the mood outside. Reading through poems that you saved that make the gloomy hours make sense, or do they lose their power with the yellowing of age? I like that lyric. I think the paper fades. I don't think the words or the emotions ever do. But with the passage of time, experience can alter your perspective. So, I saw you suffering through a foggy window in the rain when you thought no one was watching. Yeah, going through your memories like so many prisons to escape and become someone else with another face and another name. No more suffering. So, a foggy window in the rain. He could be speaking about someone that he sees, that he's watched, maybe someone that he used to know, um, and he's sort of seen them go down a bad path, or they've had a parting of ways. Or this could simply be the window, could be symbolizing a reflection, where he's essentially looking inward at himself and not realizing it. Maybe seeing someone else walking down the street, looking gloomy and dejected. He takes all of his emotions and his experiences and kind of projects them onto this person. And through analyzing their, what he perceives to be their plight, sort of gives insight into his own. Going through your memories, so many prisons to escape. Bad memories will do that. You will become stuck in them. They can prevent you from moving forward. Uh, there is no shame in seeking therapy for things like this. You can't just snap your fingers and make them go away. Uh, Obviously, keeping a good, solid support group around you, people you can trust, and not having any people that are toxic or draining on you is also it's helpful. Easier said than done. You know, um, so many prisons to escape and become someone else with another face and another name. No more suffering. Yeah, it is kind of a shame or regret for one's past and wanting to become someone else. The way Chris sold this when he went into his higher register, uh, again, it was just so emotionally charged, and his voice doesn't thin out when he goes up there. That's very rare, but yeah, so it's a great sound. He's not the Soundgarden scream demon, but what you have is a very mature, uh, weathered sound, which I think is even more effective, honestly. So let's keep going here. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
I saw you suffering through a foggy window in the rain when you thought no one was watching. Yeah. Going through your memories like so many prisons to escape, become someone else with another face, yeah, another name. No more suffering. You sold the best of yourself out on a chain of gray and white lies. One syllable at a time. You should have made them pay a higher price. I saw you suffering through a cracked and dirty window pane. I was ashamed that I was watching. Yeah. Going through your imagination, looking for a life you could create and become somebody else. Yeah. With another face, yeah, and another name. No more suffering.
Okay, I'm gonna go back, but real quick, a couple of things. The intensity of the arrangements picking up. I couldn't tell if that was like a string section, maybe like a cello or a guitar that was kind of like making some low groaning sounds in the background. I like the thickening of the texture though. Uh, the lyrics here: "You sold the best of yourself out on a chain of gray and white lies. One syllable at a time. You should have made them pay a higher price." This could be sort of the myth of rock stardom, where they sell you this. They sell you this idea that you'll become this beloved figure, and instead you have all of these hollow people that are claiming to be your friends simply because they want to siphon what you have. They they promise you love, and they give you parasites essentially. Um, and instead of being strengthened by these people, you're drained. It could also just simply be any sort of relationship that starts on a false pretense. Someone lies, someone claims that there's something that they're not, and then you believe it, and you become bitter, and you ask yourself, maybe you should have done something in retaliation, um, if only just to sort of feel a sense of balance or closure. Yeah, Chris obviously, as we all know, committed suicide. I think he was 50, something along those lines. So it's kind of gut wrenching to hear a song like this and to read through these lyrics, because it is sort of like opening a window into the thought processes. I'm pointing here, like into his heart, essentially, and how his mind, which is obviously very tormented, worked. Um, you always see things like this and say, I wish things could have been better. I wish you could have found somebody. I wish you could have, done this or that. But you never know. I mean, sometimes people like that are in short supply. Sometimes circumstances. I don't know. Uh, all I can tell you is just do everything you can to surround yourself with good people and to not allow yourself to be taken advantage of. And it is good that Chris had his art to sort of put his pain out there, to where we can learn from it, for lack of a better term, and it can create something that can. Chris's darkness can somehow be harnessed to create a light for others, which is good. All right, just had to kind of throw that in there.
With another face and another name, no more suffering. I wish that I could find a seed and plant a tree that grows so high, so that I could climb and harvest the right stars for you and I to drink and spit the ashes from our mouths, put the gray back in the clouds, and send them packing with our bags of old regrets and sorrows. 'Cause they don't do a thing but drag us down, so far down. The past is like a braided rope, each moment tightly coiled inside. I saw you suffering through the yellow window of the train, with everybody watching. Too tired for imagining that you could ever love somebody else from somewhere far away, from another time, another place, with another life, with another face, and another name, and another name. No more suffering.
Okay, it's a really beautiful song. Obviously, very heartbreaking. There was a pause right between "No More Suffering" and "I Wish I Could Find a Seed." That was just masterfully done. It sort of feels like the pause that someone has when they're overcome with emotion and they kind of have to gather their strength to speak again. As Elizabeth from the Charismatic Voice always says, it also functions as like a brain reset for your ears. And of course, when he enters, he's in his high belty range. It's got a lot of natural grit. Um, I'm not an expert on Chris. I do think that he suffered some vocal damage. from just years of just screaming his head off with Soundgarden. I know he mentioned that when he was training, he would essentially push his voice until it broke because he liked how that sounded, but eventually it would just hit the note. So he trained his voice essentially by punishing it, and that's sometimes going to have some bad effects. I have heard people say about this period of Chris's voice that he was diminished, that he had lost his range and power, and maybe some of that is missing. But what he's gained, just again that weathered sound, and there is enough range remaining to where, like, you couple that with that weathered, um, almost the visual I'm thinking of is like old bark. Just it's rich, but it's kind of cracking. Um, there's just something to be said for that kind of ragged beauty that works so perfectly for a song like this, which is so focused on regret and trying to overcome the past and trying to move on. Um, I wish that I could find a seed and plant a tree that grows so high so that I could climb and harvest the ripe stars for you and I to drink. Again, it's climbing towards the light. Just want to grab the light and just consume as much of it as you can. Uh, and spit the ashes from our mouths and put the gray back in the clouds. Again, you're taking in the light, you're expelling the darkness. Send them packing with our bags of old regrets and sorrows because they don't do a thing but drag us down, so far down. Again, he's just simply talking about trying to find a source of happiness to purge the pain, where he can just sort of, like, again, put that in a cloud and blow it away to where it won't bother him anymore. Again, it's easier said than done. Sometimes the light doesn't necessarily burn away the darkness. But the light is a reprieve. You just have to sometimes walk or climb or crawl your way to it. Uh, the past is like a braided rope, each moment tightly coiled inside. That is a very, very beautiful image, uh, because that is it is a good summation of your memory. They're like all of these good and bad memories just kind of woven together, and you wish you could untangle them and pick the bad moments out and discard them, but they're tangled up with the good. Uh, And then I saw you suffering the yellow window of a train with everybody watching, too tired for imagining that you could ever love somebody else from somewhere far away, from another time, from another place, with another life, and another face, and another name. No more suffering. Um, so I mentioned before that maybe this was him talking to himself, but it really does seem like he's speaking to someone maybe he had a relationship with. Now he's watching this person leave. Uh, with all, maybe like he says, with everybody watching, um, or maybe he's the one that's leaving through the yellow window, and everyone's watching because he's a famous figure. Too tired for imagining that you could ever love someone else from somewhere far. Maybe thinking that his the things that he hates about his life, the things that are dragging him down, are the only things that she could uh, love. That without those, that if he became someone else, something else, while it would mean everything to him, it might take him away from this person. Okay, so uh, lyric analysis is something I've always been fascinated with. I think this may be my one of the few times I've tried it on video here. I definitely want to do more of this. Danny is all about the lyrics. I'm kind of like a music and lyrics guy, how they work together. I definitely want to do this more. For songs like this, you definitely have to dig into the lyrics. I want to know what you guys think of these lyrics. And if any of you guys are seeing this on Endless Grunge Icons, please tell me what you think these lyrics represent. They're beautiful images. It's a very beautifully constructed song. I feel like it ebbs and swells towards the end, and again, the end, there's that bit of silence, and he says, "No more suffering." It's like that one last call just for the suffering to end. And again, seeing as how Chris's life ended, that is very, very heartbreaking. You don't want to sort of bring that kind of blackness into a song that's beautiful, but it's impossible not to. As Danny always says, you have to deal with the darkness as well as the light. And I've said this before, it's not so much about purging the darkness as much as it is making it a part of you. Learning to walk in the dark because there are some treasures that can only be found alone and in the dark. You just always want to make sure that you can find your way to the light. And again, having a support group of people, having good people around you that care about you. And honestly, sometimes music is a very, it's your best support group sometimes. It doesn't require any maintenance. It's there at the touch of a button now, and it's just a plethora of people and experiences and emotions for you to absorb and live vicariously through and learn from. So yeah, this is a beautiful, touching, heartbreaking song. I would like to hear more from this album as a result. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as one can enjoy something so honestly heartbreaking and depressing. But yeah, head down to the comments. Let me know what you think of the what you think the lyrics mean, how you interpret them, uh, and I will. I'm going to answer all you guys. That's what we try to do here at Custom Creator. So thank you all so very much for taking this journey with me. Most definitely, mental health is real. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those that need to be taken care of. And music is your best support group. For Danny Lee, OGT, and Custom Creator, I am OGL Schmidt. Thank you all for your time. I'll be seeing you around.